I thought I had gotten rid of it, but I was wrong. I'm writing this in the hopes that someone will believe what happened to me, though I fear not much will come from this. I've never been the best at sleeping, I'll admit that. But I can't explain what happened to me from the ages of 12 to 13 away as simple hallucinations. Something was under there. Those who I've told about these events has brushed me off, saying that they were either hallucinations induced by my sleep-deprived brain or nightmares. I know better. It didn't happen frequently, rather every few months. If I remember correctly, the first instance was about a week after my 12th birthday. I wasn't scared of the dark or anything like that. Nor was I scared of what was in the dark. Due to this lack of fear on my part, my parents gladly accepted not having to put a nightlight in my room. Like I said, all throughout my life, I've never been the best sleeper. Often, regardless of what I did beforehand, I'd find myself awake in the early hours of the morning. You don't forget something so vivid. I certainly haven't forgotten this. The room was swathed in darkness, a sight not unfamiliar to me. It was another restless night. I had been laying in my bed for the past 3 or so hours, just trying to get even a minute of sleep, but whether I wanted it to or not, sleep wouldn't come that night. I don't know the exact time frame. But at some point, after midnight if I remember correctly, a voice came from under my bed. "Are you trying to sleep?" I shot right up and stood stock still, my sheets and blankets entangled with my legs. I had to be hearing things. Nobody was under my bed. Before I could relax, the voice came again. "Did I scare you?" The best way I could describe how the voice sounded would be to imagine an old woman with a masculine undertone. High-pitched yet deep, I breathed in and out. Maybe if I didn't acknowledge it, nothing would happen. That didn't work. "I'm sorry if I scared you. I didn't mean to." If I couldn't do anything on my own, then I figured I could just call for my parents, which I attempted in vain to do. From below came a ferocious shaking. Whatever was down there was shaking my bed frame violently. I suppose it didn't want anyone else to come in. "Don't call for them. I'm not going to do anything to you." Strangely, I had a slight feeling in the back of my head that this thing wasn't lying. I decided to finally talk back. Then, what are you going to do?" I don't know what I expected for an answer, but it most likely wasn't what came next. "I just want to talk to you. It's so lonely down here." I was 12, and lacking thoughts in the critical department. As a result, my next actions weren't exactly the smartest. You could come up here. It won't be so lonely, I think." It said, pausing before speaking again. "I can't come up. I'm not allowed to." Well, the next logical step to a 12-year-old was obviously to reverse the situation and go down to it. "Then I can come down to you," I said, lowering myself to under the bed. I got onto my hands and knees, lifting my blanket to reveal the underside of my bed. Nothing. "That's weird," I thought. Surely someone was down there. I heard their voice and all. I couldn't come up with a logical reason as to why a disembodied voice would or wouldn't be under my bed, so I decided to try and sleep on it. The only problem was that I couldn't. I told myself I wasn't scared, but a pulsing, almost painful feeling rang out in my chest, spelling out my fear for me. Whatever this thing was, here or not, it wasn't going to let me sleep. And I didn't. Eventually, the first rays of sunlight peeked through my curtains and I knew the day had officially begun. Luckily, it was a Saturday, so I could try and rest today. The fear of the voice under my bed lingered with me throughout the day, and I dreaded the oncoming night. I wouldn't be able to sleep again, and it'd all be due to that voice. It would come, and it would speak to me again, but it didn't. Not for a few months, at least. My birthday was in March, so by the time the next instance of this mysterious voice occurred again, it was mid-June. If it was hard to sleep just on my own, the summer heat had exacerbated the task. Even trying to think of getting some shut-eye. I remember looking over at my alarm clock. 2:30 a.m. I wasn't getting to sleep tonight. I felt miserable mentally and physically. My head was spinning trying to rest and my body was wrought with sweat from the heat. it didn't help when the voice came. "Are you uncomfortable?" I was taken aback. How was it here again? I suppose whatever it was, I had never seen it leave, but still. I felt a mix of fear and anger. So, I responded quickly this time, "Yes, very." It came again, but with a hint of sadness accompanying it this time. "I'm sorry about that. I wish I could come out from under here and help you, but I'm not allowed, I know. You told me last time." Oh, I suppose I'm repeating myself. I was wondering what this thing was doing under my bed. In fact, I had been wondering what it was doing under my bed for the last few months. I asked it that very question. "Hey, what do you do under there? Like, why? Why are you down there?" It stopped before clearing its throat and responding, "I'm down here to talk to you. Sleep clearly isn't something you can come across easily. So I'm here to help quell any unease or boredom you might have." And there it was, for a time. My answer. Why this thing was under my bed, it was here to talk to me. This revelation relieved me greatly. It wasn't evil or anything like that, it was just a buddy for me to talk with when I couldn't sleep. "Oh. Thank you," I said, leaning on my side. "You are very welcome." The voice responded. I figured now was the time to try and shoot my shot again. "Can I come down and see you?" Silence. I silently crept off my bed and positioned myself in a similar stance to last time. I lifted up my sheets and... nothing. Again. "Where did you go?" I whispered to myself, getting back up on the bed. Surprisingly, through all the thoughts and questions running in my head, I actually managed to come out on top of this battle and get some sleep. The next occurrence wasn't until October. It was not Halloween. It was a few days before. Once again, I found myself struggling to embrace the arms of sleep. Exasperated, I looked to my alarm clock and saw it was 3 in the goddamn morning. I was wondering when it would happen when, well, it happened. Trouble sleeping? Defeated and tired, all I could respond with was a few words, "Yeah. Lots." The voice responded to me with what sounded like sadness. "I'm terribly sorry. Is there anything I can do to help?" "No. It's always been like this." Terribly sorry again. "All I can do is talk to you. I wish there was another way." I did too, but life isn't fair. A question popped into my head, so I asked the voice, "Hey. Why can't you come out from the bed? Why can you only talk to me, and nothing else?" The response frightened me. Because you can't see me." "What? What are you talking about? You have no lights in your room. You can't see me. It's the darkness." "So, wait, if I turn the lights on, I can see you?" "That's been the problem this whole time?" "I'm afraid so." Before it could say anything else, I jumped up and turned the lights on before looking back at my bed. "Can you come out now?" The sad, raspy voice came once more from under the bed. "No, too bright, I can't." Like the last 2 times, I went to check and there was nothing. Something was going to have to change. March. It was my birthday once more. Actually, it was about a week after my birthday. It happened again, for the last time. Among the other things on my present list, I had asked my parents for a nightlight for my 13th birthday. That's a little odd. Thought you weren't scared of the dark. My father said, "Yeah, you're not developing something, are you?" My mother asked. I told them that I wanted it for the atmosphere and that lie sufficed. Same day, 1 week after my birthday and 1 year after the first time this thing started speaking to me, it came one more time, the light. "It isn't so bright, it said, cutting itself off before speaking once more. "I can come out now." Per usual, I was wide awake. This time was different. I was zoning out, not really caring about what the voice had to say when I heard it. A light scratching noise began to come out from under the bed. It sounded like something was dragging itself out from underneath it. I began to panic. "No, you don't need to come out. I don't need to see what you look like. It's okay, really." It didn't seem to listen to me, because the scratching continued. I want to see you. And you've wanted to see me. This is a good thing. The sound of the voice was much clearer now, as though not being confined to the underside of my bed allowed the full range of sound to occur. I looked over at the edge of my bed. I heard it before I saw it. Creak. Creak, eek, a sharp, slender black finger curled over my bed and onto my sheets, leaving a narrow imprint. Another finger made its way up, then another, and another, and another, and another. 6 fingers. I've been wanting to see you too. You seem so nice. We should be friends. Whatever was clawing its way onto my bed couldn't be anything less than life-threatening. In a panic, I tried to get up. In my anxiety-induced attempt to escape, I slipped and fell on the hand. What came from the side of the bed is a sound I'll never forget. It sounded as though thousands were screaming all in unison. Painful, deathly, agonizing screams. It was so loud I thought my parents would burst into my room and save me from this monster. But that wasn't going to happen. I was going to have to handle this on my own. Scrambling, I got up once more and began running to my light switch. Just before I reached it, snatch, it had grabbed me. I turned around to see just what had gripped onto my ankle. It's easy to forget a lot of things, but I don't think I'll be able to get what I saw that night out of my mind for as long as I live. It had no specific form, just a general figure. It was pitch black, yet it stood out in the room. Something was dripping off it onto the floor. I couldn't tell what it was. In what I assumed to be the head were 2 glowing white dots, eyes. It spoke once more. Why are you running away? The sound the voice made was guttural. Like trying to talk with a torn throat. It sounded like it hurt to speak. Gee, get away. I yelled, kicking at it with all the might a 12-year-old could muster. It wouldn't let go. It began to crawl towards me. I began to look around for something to stop it with, and that's when I saw it, towering above me, my dresser. I strained my arms and managed to grab slightly onto the back of it. Using all the strength I could gather, I pulled the dresser towards me. The thing was about halfway on me, when the dresser fell down. It pinned the voice to the ground and I took no liberties in looking at it while it was down. By the time my parents burst through my door, I had already turned the lights on. What should have been a monster pinned under a piece of furniture looked like nothing more than an episode induced by sleep deprivation. My parents asked me if everything was okay, and I told them it was. I wish I had said something else. I wish I had told them it wasn't okay, that I needed help and that something was tormenting me. But I didn't. That decision has followed me till this very day. I sleep with the lights on no matter what now. It's made actually sleeping with other people in the room a bit more difficult, but a simple I see things in the dark would suffice for them. There's one thing though, not all of the lights in my house can be on at the same time, meaning there are often dark spots. In those spots, I can see the glowing eyes sometimes. I don't think it really ever left me, and I don't think that it's happy with me. I keep seeing signs, a claw mark on my floor next to the bed, black drippings in the hallway outside my room. It's making me nervous, terrified, actually. I'm getting sick of having to live in fear of this thing getting me or catching me off guard one day. It's nearly dark out now. And I've been seeing the eyes in the black spots of my home. It wants me for something. I don't know what this thing's intentions are, but it wants me. Maybe it won't be so bad. Maybe I'll sleep with the lights off tonight.